This is my client Lydia, and today is her wedding day. Now, me and Lydia did not do a trial, and she was really specific about the look that she wanted. This comes from experience. Let your brides hold the mirror and watch you do their makeup if they're looking for a really particular look. Pretty much each step, I would give Lydia the mirror and ask her to approve and make sure she was okay with moving on to the next step. This avoids any disappointment and major changes. Here is the look that Lydia chose, and I think it suits her really beautifully. For her eyes, I just used bronzer. She doesn't like any shimmer. And for lashes, she didn't want a strip lash, so I cut the Ardell 110s into little tiny pieces and just applied them like little individual lashes. I just put about 4 pieces on because she didn't want too much of a lash. And I'm on site today and I forgot my palette, so I had to use the back of my Charlotte Tilbury palette. Hey, sometimes you just gotta make it work. So Lydia was quite tanned, so I used a lot of the NC30 from MAC Studio Fix, and then I just squirted in a little bit of the NC13 just to add a little bit of lightness because I didn't want her to end up too dark. I'm using the shade Almond from Born This Way Too Faced Concealer. I didn't want to do a bright under eye, so it's very similar to the tone of her foundation. Once I got all of the concealer and foundation on, I found she was a little bit shiny, so I made sure to go over with my Sugar Cookie from Huda Beauty, and I applied this pretty much all over her face just to mattify her. I applied the same bronzer right up underneath her lash line and just a little bit of mascara to play up those bottom lashes. And to keep everything pretty monochromatic, I used the same bronzer that I used on her eye, in her contour, up and around her jawline, her nose, and her forehead. Now again, I am giving Lydia the opportunity to look at her makeup. I obviously had the camera in front of her too, which I think really helped. She was happy to look at the process along the way. Even for blush, I usually don't even ask people. I just put on whatever I think would look good, but I did give her the option of a few different colors. She had brought her own lipstick. It was Angel from MAC, and it just really complemented the blush and the bronzer beautifully. I was really happy because the only thing she wanted to add was just a tiny bit more of a wing. This is just using a little bit of shadow just on the outer edges of her eye. I did some final detail work and the photographer took some pictures. So this is her before we did her makeup and this is her after. How chic does she look? I mean, this is timeless.